Boom! There we have it. All right, Bourbon Quest. It's your host, Bourbon Steve. And so, what we're going to do tonight is, I know a lot of people do January dry month, and if that is what you're doing, I want to encourage you to see that through if that's what you decided to do. However, here on Bourbon Quest, we say heck with January dry month. We doing January rye month. All right. So, I thought we'd kick off January rye month with 4 favorites here. Oh, we do have an uncorking. We haven't opened this one yet. Huh, what about that? Did not know that. Cool. I'm all about doing like uncorking, so, but let's start off with well, 2020, I guess, Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. Whew, that thing's delicious. And then we will do an uncorking of Russell's 6-year rye and a High West Rendezvous rye. And then 2021 Old Forester Barrel Proof Rye. So let's get into it. What do you say, Bourbon Quest? So let's go ahead and pour these bad boys. Man, I'm gonna be sad when that one's gone. That's one of my favorite ryes of all time. That is my favorite rye of all time that I've had. Not done a whole lot of ryes. Let's go ahead and pour these that have already been unopened. Little High West Rendezvous rye. And Old Forester. Shout out to Jackie Zion. And then let's, guess we're gonna do an uncorking. Russell's Reserve 6-year-old rye. Kentucky straight rye whiskey, 90 proof. All right. Alright, here you go. Uncorking of Russell's Reserve 6. America! Ooh, that was a beautiful pop. So, we'll pour a little rye into our Infinity bourbon here. Infinity bottle, I should say. There we go. Little Russell's there. So, yeah, I guess I've not had this one before, so not a better time to do it than kicking off January rye month. Alright, let's start it out with one of my all-time favorites, the Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. I mean, it's so delicious on the nose. I mean, just minty and caramel, and I was trying to get that out of my face. And yeah, mint and pine. Just a touch of grassiness in a good way. A lot of times I find that in a bad way, but no, this is freaking spectacular. And so, just to let you know on this, this is very limited. This particular single barrel proof rye that I have is 132.6 proof. This special release celebrates the early craftsmanship of the Jack Daniel's distillery, bottled in singular form straight from the barrel, uncut at full proof. Heck yeah. 2020 special release. Just trying to see here. Bottled on November 10th of 20. And Barrell 1-02. Alright. Anyways, it's freaking fantastic. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. goodness. I mean, it's just so sweet and minty and touch of pine, tons of sweet and mint. Nice hug, great mouthfeel. Drink's freaking fantastic. Stay hydrated, my friends. So we're just kind of going through some of these. So this will be, well, I already put it in the glass. So this will be a fresh, move you out of the way there. That's what's wrong with those tall bottles. So Russell's Reserve, Kentucky Rye, 6-year-old. I mean, you can tell coming off that Jack, just much more subtle on the nose. Not near the complexity. I mean, it really doesn't offer a whole lot on the nose, to be honest with you. Of course, much lower proof. I mean, you get touch of mint, but I mean, it doesn't come off as being much of a rye. I mean, just a touch of mint, but I mean, nosing it, I would probably think it was a bourbon. And it probably is a barely legal rye. I don't know the exact mash bill on it. Alright, anyways, let's see what the palate says. I mean, yeah, it's just sweet vanilla with a touch of mint. I mean, I wouldn't know this was a rye if I didn't know it already. I mean, I would think it had, you know, a high rye mash bill, but I'm pretty sure this is just a barely legal rye because it drinks a lot like a bourbon with just a touch of mint. Yeah, not a lot of complexity on the nose. I mean, it's sweet. It's definitely delicious and crushable, for sure. At 90 proof, yeah, totally crushable bottle. Drinks easy, not a lot of complexity. A little disappointed in it. I usually have higher expectations for Russell products, and most of the time they deliver. And not to say that it's bad at all, it's just lacks complexity, lacks depth, but you know, for someone just getting into rye, I mean, I would say it's a good alternative because it drinks more like a bourbon, and more than likely, and you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I would imagine this is, you know, anywhere from 51 to 55% rye mash bill, you know, and 51% making it barely legal rye. And then we have High West Rendezvous. And this is 92 proof. I will say, when I had the High West double rye before. That's like 95% rye. That's like drinking a pine tree. That was too much for me. But I like the Rendezvous. I mean, again, it's sweet on the nose, touch of mint, a little spice. Not a whole lot of complexity on the nose. I think it comes off being a little bit more rye than the Russells. Alright. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Yeah. It's, you know, tons of sweetness and fruit on the front end, and then goes into that that mint and then pine, and then more fruit like orange and raspberry. Very nice. I mean, for a rye, I like this. I mean, it's no Jack Daniels, but cheers, Bourbon Quest. But yeah, that's I mean, I definitely prefer that over that High West Double Rye. That's again, that's a totally crushable bottle. Easy sipping. A little bit more complexity than the Russells, but not extreme by any means. Definitely an easy drinker. Very nice. Again, for someone getting into rye, I would recommend the High West Rendezvous. And then now, Old Forester Barrel Proof Rye. Let's see what this comes in at. So single barrel strength, 128.3 is the proof on that. 128.3, whereas the Jack was what, 132? Yeah, 132.6. All right. Oh yeah. Now this, yeah, much more complexity. I mean, you get that mint, you get that rye spice, plenty of like black pepper and rye spice, some more baking spices on that. Color's great. Yeah, I like the nose better on the Jack, but this is a beautiful nose as well. All right, cheers, Bourbon Quest. Ooh. Then on this one, you get, on the very front, you get the mint, and then boom, tons of pine. Like mint and then pine, boom, pine bomb. But not too much like in the High West Double Rye, which was complete pine tree. But just like just a pine bomb blast. The mouth feels good. Finish is a little lacking on that after that initial pine bomb, but yeah. There it is again. Yeah. And then now, but the finish is good. It's not, I wouldn't say it's long, it's probably medium, but that pine and then the burn, I mean, it's delicious. Stay hydrated, my friends. Alright, I want to compare the Jack and Old Forester just a little bit. Alright, so I feel like the Jack is more complex and sweeter on the nose, whereas the Old Forester is, to be honest, a little bit more rye forward on the nose. Nice. I don't think it's as complex. Definitely, Jack comes off being a little sweeter than this. They're both great though. But I'd give the nod to Jack on that. Let's compare the palates. That is so freaking fantastic. It's like everything I would want in a rye. I mean, it's got the proof, the mouthfeel, the mint, the pine, but complexity, but no one thing is really overbearing on that. Nice Tennessee hug. I mean, it's delicious. I would say the color is a little bit darker on the Old Forester. But nice nose on that too. now I get more mint and then pine. Not so much the pine bomb as I got the first couple of times. That might just me getting more acclimated to it, but it's definitely there. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Now there is that pine bomb again. Yeah. I mean, beautiful job, great rye. I would definitely give the nod to the Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye, but this is a damn good second place to that. Would not be ashamed to have this at all in your bar. And really, none of this. I'm a little disappointed on the Russells, to be honest with you. And I think just because I have high expectations of the products that Russell's put out, and I think this is maybe an example of they have a great brand, a great reputation, and wanted to dip their toe into rye and created a barely legal rye. I mean, it's good, it's just not complex, and I will have to compare it to, let me do that. I'm going to do it real quick. Bear with me. I'm going to grab something real quick. If it's open, if it's not, then we won't do it, but. Alright. It is open, so let me grab a glass. Wasn't planning on doing this, but that was a fresh opening on the Russell 6. Now this is again, this is a higher proof. Okay, so this is Russell's Reserve Kentucky Straight Rye single barrel versus just the Russell's 6-year, which is yeah, that one's 90 proof, and then this one comes in at 104 proof. So let's compare these two Russells real quick. Let's move you out of the way. Alright, so the Russell's 6-year 90 proof versus the Russell's single barrel rye. Stay hydrated. And now the Russell's single barrel. Yeah, see, I'm getting more of a rye notes on the nose on this. Just, I mean, more spice, more mint, more pine, more black pepper. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Oh yeah. Yeah, man, it's a really good mouthfeel. Like rich caramel and then mint, and then the pine starts to come through, and then more fruit with orange and raspberry. Like, yeah, between those two, I would definitely take the single barrel over the Russell. So, you know, that's one of the things that I'm trying to do a little bit more so in 2022 is to start layering down my bourbon and whiskey collection. In other words, you know, there's nothing wrong with either one of these products. And I like to have variety. I mean, I've got like over 500 bottles. So what I'm trying to do is narrow some of that down. For instance, like what I would do between these two is I will not purchase this one again. And I will make the Russell's single barrel rye my Russell's rye pick and forego this one. That's just what I'm doing, you know. There's so much out there, and I mean, space is limited, funds are limited. You know, it's not unlimited space and unlimited funds. I guess if that was the case, I'd have 5 of everything, unless I just absolutely hated it. Like I hated the High West Double Rye. I gave that bottle away to a friend of mine, Robbie. She is a big rye fan. She loved it, and I'm like, well, here, take it, because I can't drink that. I mean, I could, but I'd prefer not to. And so, now this is not horrible by any means, but, you know, in making distinctions and narrowing things down, I'm choosing the single barrel over the 6-year-old. I don't think there's an age statement on this. I would imagine it's probably 6 years, maybe a little older. There's no age statement on this, just a single barrel rye. But if I had to guess, it's probably between 6 to 8 years. But anyways, that's how we kicking off January Rye Month on Bourbon Quest. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, smash that like button. Now going forward, the next ones we're gonna do, this was totally unscripted, unplanned, but I am gonna be going through my rye collection, which is not extensive. If I had to guess, it's probably like between 20 and 30 bottles of rye. So we're gonna do like some blind flights of like either 4 or 5, and you know, pick out the top ones and start eliminating some of these to you know, like eliminating this from my collection in favor of this and so forth. But we'll be doing those blind. This was unscripted, unplanned. I don't have a problem with eliminating something, you know, not necessarily blind, knowing what they are, because I could have cared less either way. I didn't have a bias toward. I mean, I love Russell's. I just think that this one had more complexity and more to offer, and part of that's probably to do with the proof being 104 proof versus 90 proof. But there was also just more complexity, more notes, more richness, and you know, greater complexity on the mouthfeel. This is a definitely crushable bottle, though. Nothing bad about it at all. All right, I'm rambling now, so let's wrap it up. Bourbon Steve. Cheers, Bourbon Quest. Bam, Russell's. Yeah. All right, that's a wrap. Well, I hope you like kicking off January Rye Month on Bourbon Quest. And I'm just saying, Matthew McConaughey, you need to get, I know they do. I know there's a Wild Turkey 101 rye, a rare breed rye, etc. But what we need to do, Matthew, is we need to develop a, what would we call it? I think we should call it Wild Turkey McConaughey. All right, all right, all right. You know what I'm saying? That would be tremendous. That's what needs to happen. We need to get Matthew McConaughey with an all right, wild turkey. That's what I'm talking about. That would be freaking fantastic. I mean, that shit would fly off the shelves. Come on, Matthew. You're supposed to be, I forget what your title is there at Wild Turkey. Something collaborator. I know you developed Long Branch or helped develop Long Branch, but we got to get a Matthew McConaughey Wild Turkey rye bourbon with all right. I mean, it's a no-brainer, bro. Come on. And I'll take 10%. All right, I'll take 9% of the royalties from that. Just saying. Let me know, Matthew. We can get together. I get 9% of the royalties. And we make this thing happen. You get, whatever you get. I mean, you're Matthew McConaughey. But I'd love to see that happen. That would be my wish going into 2022 is to get a Wild Turkey Matthew McConaughey all right. Come on, Matthew. Let's make that happen, bro. And then we can get together and drink some and put a little money in our pockets and all's good, you know what I'm saying? Alright. Well, let's wrap this thing up. I hope y'all are having as much fun as I am, but I want to give a shout out to Brandon. You know who you are. He sent me some comments and stuff. He's a big fan of the show. I told him we'd try and get together maybe in March, because I'm pretty booked up for January and February, but I love those types of things, and so I'm going to try and do a meetup with him, and then do more, maybe some group meetups down the road. Would like to get a Big Dodger. I don't even know where you're at, Big Dodger. Let me know where you're at. But if you're anywhere near, Knoxville, within 3 or 4 hour drive or something, maybe we can try and get a group meetup scheduled for. Let's try and I'm gonna shoot for late spring, between late spring and late summer. I think that'd be a good time to do a meetup. Hopefully we can get over this goddamn COVID shit. I'm over this shit. Like, I will say I've been very fortunate. I have not contracted the COVID. I am vaccinated. But I work in the service industry as a bartender. So I'm exposed, do wear a mask, except for like 3 weeks when we didn't have to, but that's a whole other bullshit story. I ain't getting into that tonight, but I've been very fortunate to where I haven't contacted the COVID. I kind of feel a little bit left out because most everybody I know has. Even those young studs that I know that are like vaccinated and blah blah blah, they still got it and suffered from it, and I mean they got over it, but I've been very fortunate. And anyways, hope y'all stay healthy, happy, and wise. And no, I don't mean you, Zach Wise. God bless it. Anyways, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone, Zach. But anyhow, I'll quit rambling and just say, in closing, as always, my wish for you, Bourbon Quest, is that all your Bourbon Quest dreams come true. Yeah, that's what I wish. I hope they do. I hope mine do too. I hope to get some good